Last video I talked about the team with the worst Valorant franchising strategy, signing tier 3 players, disappointing the fans and doing some questionable business. You guys seem to like that, and now I want to focus on a team that is doing the exact opposite. They're getting the fans hyped, building a team that could really do some damage next year and focusing on their future Valorant legacy. I'm Commend, and today I'll tell you about the team who's doing Valorant franchising right. Subscribe if you enjoy and let's do this. There's teams across all 3 franchise leagues that are taking a great approach into next year. From NA, Sentinels are the standouts, taking a coach, IGL and cracked youngster from an established team and pairing them with 2 world champions, all to create a system where the face of Valorant in tenz can thrive as their star player. C9 are doing great too, taking their strong core and making it a top tier roster by adding Zelsis and El Diablo. I think any team would be scared to face them in Brazil. Over in EMEA, Liquid are finally getting an IGL and taking another mech player with them too, reportedly signing Redgar and Nats. Fnatic have added Leo, one of the best initiator players in the world, and Na'Vi went for the buy entire best team strategy and bought out FPX, minus Ardis. None of these teams are doing it as well as our main team in this video though, and they're in the Pacific League. In the Pacific League, it's a different situation because it's the only league where at least one team has stayed together. But there's not just one, there's 3. DRX, PaperX and Zeta all seem to be keeping their current rosters, and this means that there's less top talent for the other teams in the league to get their hands on. There are still great players available in Asia of course, but with 7 other teams all fighting to make the best roster, they have to get creative. T1 are signing 2 NA players, Talent Esports may have brought Patipan out of retirement, and Gen.G are recreating the old Korean super team of TNL. But none of these teams are creating a roster as diverse or creative as the main team in this video. They found a way to make their millions and potentially billions of fans happy, and also build a roster to look forward to in Sao Paulo, where most teams could only manage one of the 2. Global Esports are the only team representing India in Valorant franchising, which is a big responsibility knowing just how many Valorant fans India has and will continue to get, especially with the release of Harbour. Luckily, it seems that Indian Valorant has been put in safe hands after Global Esports announced their roster plans for next year, with some interesting players joining the team for franchising. The first player to be announced was Ayrin from Xset, a complete surprise but a champion's proven IGL regardless and a great foundation for the team. This leads back to what the Global Esports CEO says in this tweet longer explaining their plans. We have spent a considerable amount of time putting together this roster construction with copious amounts of research and effort put into who we will bring on board and how they will function together as a team and what they need to do to synergize. This is a genius move by Global Esports, but it's nothing compared to the main key of this roster being so good. But before that, next came the announcement of the Korean powerhouses in Texture and Bazi. Coming from the 2 top teams in Korea behind DRX, these guys put up some crazy numbers in the East Asia LCQ and should keep doing so for Global Esports. Bazi began his career in competitive Overwatch, so will bring a veteran presence to the team that will help the younger players to learn and grow. Younger players like Ronsky, the hottest prospect to come out of Oceanic Valorant and the 4th official addition to GE's roster. He'll provide even more firepower to the team and be another player for ayrin and the coaching staff to mould into the type of player that they need. The Indonesian flags on Global Esports Twitter page hinted at the final player being from there, and it turned out to be Monyet, a cracked player from Onyx who will be an amazing 5th. This is an insane roster and one that could do really well in Brazil, but it's not even the best part of GE's strategy for 2023. That comes in their decision to keep some Indian players on the roster. How? Well, each team has 10 possible player slots, and so GE have decided to keep 2 Indian players to fill some of those. The 2 players are skrossi and Lightning Fast, the 2 best performing players from their previous roster. This is a genius move by GE that will allow Indian talent to continue developing in their system and keep the Indian fans invested in their Valorant journey. Their entire strategy for franchising is really well put together, so it's no surprise that Riot gave them a slot, and I'm excited to see how this truly global roster turns out in Sao Paulo. I've been Commend, subscribe if you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.